for 162 games. Minus in the history of the league.
I have a feeling that we're live right now, but my computer's so fucking slow that I can't
certainly
fucking
are.
tell. Great.
We are certainly live.
Oh, excellent. Well, even though I can't see it on my computer.
Well, hey.
What's up, guys?
Hey. You two told us we're live, so we're live.
What's happening?
I don't know what's happening because we don't know what's happening with our fucking computers. So
right, we'll just be on lag the whole time. Fuck it.
That's cool.
I'm Riley,
and I am Danny.
Welcome to Music Mayhem.
Yeah, sort of.
Right.
But nonetheless, we are going to go ahead and a little bit more reaction videos. I know that we have done a few, a couple to the beginning of this new album from Prevail.
Right.
We did Bow Down and we did Breaking Down as well.
Yep, really liked Bow Down.
Yep, I was not necessarily a huge fan of Breaking Down. However, it has grown on me a little bit.
Yeah. I think we even did one to the Trauma one when that came out, but we didn't care for that one too much. The intro was a little long, and I thought the song was overly short.
Okay.
And it just, it is what it is, I guess. This is still a highly anticipated album for us.
Yeah.
We have not heard overly great things in the hours that it has been out since the release of Midnight today.
We've actually heard the exact opposite.
So we will be going into it a little bit more on at least a couple of songs tonight and give you our opinion and see if maybe our thoughts are a little bit different or if they hold par with maybe the other people that are following these guys like we do. So the first song that we're going to do today is called Gasoline. From what I understand and from the little snips that they have put out with kind of building the hype to the release of this album, it sounds like another hard song from them. So I am looking forward to it. It'll just be interesting to see how it compares to other songs that we know of them.
Sure.
We will pause intermittently and give your feedback get our feedback that way. We don't see another copyright message on our computer screen by the time this is over. So let's go ahead and dive in a little bit. Again, this is Gasoline from I Prevail off of their new Trauma album.
Yep.
It was just released today. Let's jump on in.
And hopefully it's not as choppy as this fucking video seems to be going.
Right. I like the start.
Starting off strong.
So following par with the people saying that he's trying to rap a lot or add that concept. Was he Mike Shinoda?
He sounds a lot like as far as his delivery. I do like the feel change right there.
So we'll pause it there for a sec. Initial thoughts?
Initial thoughts. I don't like the
Brian's part of it.
I don't like the hip hop feel to this. I really don't. And there was a couple of times during the Lifeline album where he got into that a little bit, but just a little bit. But from the things that we have heard on this album so far, it seems like they've gone more in the direction of the hip hop rock aspect of things, as opposed to staying true to who we know them to be.
Right. Kind of what they started out with.
Which is a little disheartening for me.
Yeah.
The songs are hard. All right, cool. But then they went into that mainstream rock feel and then into a little bit of a breakdown for 10 seconds and then into rapping. And it was like, come on, bro.
Yeah.
Come on, man. What Brian said prior to the release of this album is that they were trying to do things different because they feel like rock isn't dead. right?
And yet they go about it this way.
And then they go about it this way when it seems to me like they're going 100% complete mainstream, as opposed to staying true to what gets people to like who they are.
Yeah.
So who knows what the rest of this album's going to bring? Who knows what the rest of the 70 seconds of this song will bring either?
Yeah.
Or 80 seconds, whatever.
Right.
But it's I don't know, man.
Yeah, I
got a red flag up.
Kind of how we were talking about it prior to going on and touch briefly on it before we jumped into this song, on how people were saying that it sounds like they're trying to do more of this Linkin Park feel and whatnot. I don't necessarily, especially in this part, at least so far, I don't care for this like just fast talking verse. And this might be the first time that I would probably say through any of the songs that I've heard from them that I almost don't enjoy Eric in this. And it's not necessarily his delivery. It's just how this song is composed. How the chorus isn't even like, I don't find that it's that catchy to me. It's just over repetitive. Right. Burn it all down. Okay. Burn it. Okay. I got you. But there, at least with a lot of the other songs that I enjoyed, the chorus was an actual chorus. It wasn't something repetitive. It was, the chorus was repetitive when you got to the chorus, but by getting the same lines, but you didn't have burn it all down. You didn't get something over and over and over again. And that was just the chorus. You actually got a full chorus and then you went right back into either a drop or the next verse or so on and so forth. And I think that's the one thing that kind of irks me about this one so far. Instrumentally, when they go hard, it's nice, it's clean. I think that's something that they've always been. They've always been pretty tight when it comes to the sound that they're trying to put out. I just don't know if this one works.
I would agree with that 100%.
So let's go. Let's keep going.
All right.
I like this part.
All right.
All right.
So anticlimactic, though.
I feel like that's how a lot of these songs have been, though. Like they just have very abrupt stops to all of them.
They do. But this isn't. And I'm judging this based off of what we know prior to listening to this album.
Yeah.
This is not the I Prevail that was given to us. Even during the Heart versus Mind album, which is different from Lifelines.
Yeah.
It's not the I Prevail that we're used to. And there's no prolonged breakdown. Eric, it seems at this point, for just that song, they have him there for his screaming. There isn't a lot of clean singing in it. It's a lot of talking the lyrics through the song.
To get to him.
Right. And it's an unfortunate situation, but based on the things that I've read about this album, this is the most utilized, other than Bow Down, that Eric is actually there for.
Well, I'm going to predicate or play a little bit of devil's advocate. Really, when you look back, is I think especially at Lifelines, that album in general, there isn't a whole lot of songs where he's overly utilized in that either. I think that by far Bow Down is the most utilized song of him that they've ever put out, period.
You think so?
Absolutely. I think that maybe you get to Love Lost Liars. Maybe that's another one that has a little bit more prominence in there. But when you look at a lot of the other songs, and that's why I say more of the Lifelines album, because Love Lost Liars was on Heart versus Mind. But a lot of that Lifelines album, you know, he was in there, but he did not have a really hard, prominent spot. And I would say almost 90% of that album, he was still there and he still put his piece on it, but it was very much Brian for the most part. So I think that was kind of how when we heard Bow Down, we were like, oh shit, like here we go, because we love hearing him do his thing. He is so clean, and his yelling voice is like, it's hard to say that a yelling voice is pleasant to listen to, but he has a very pleasant to listen to yelling and growling voice.
Yeah, his
and so it's a shame that he doesn't get utilized more.
Well, I mean, but based on, and like I said, this could be a detriment to me in general, but based on everything that I've heard about this album, it gets less and less and less as you go along. Yeah. And one of the best parts about this band is their ability to sing clean and have a screamer at the same time and have it just, you know, be in perfect harmony.
Sure.
So this song might not necessarily be exactly what we want it to react to, because we don't know. This is the harder side of the album, knowing that everything else is ballads and all that kind of shit.
Right.
This could very well be the last of the positive things that we say about this song, about this band for this album.
Sure. Well, and you know, it's almost sad to say, because I'm going to make a comparison, and I know you know where I'm about to go with this, because it's another band that you love. It sounds and it feels, especially with what reviews have been said already, is that this is just another Evolution album that Disturbed did, where there's one hard song or two hard songs, right, and the rest is just like this. And I Prevail made it very clear that this was just an album that they felt they needed to do. They needed to get some stuff off of their chest, and that's fine. I get that. But especially with as anticipated as this was, just as I'm sure Evolution was probably highly anticipated as well, that's just been waiting and just craving your music, new music from you. Yep. And then you get Bow Down, which just like when Come and Get It came out, you're like, oh shit, it's back. Yep. And then you get the next one, and you're like, uh-oh. And then you get the next one, and you're like, what the fuck is happening right now? And that's the only one you're left to enjoy. I mean, and that's a shame. So hopefully this, even if this album is not what we want, just like we said with Disturbed, if this is not what we wanted, hopefully the next one, even though we're going to have to wait for the next one, they will revert back to doing what everybody has known I Prevail to be. Yeah, I just think it's pretty sad that after listening to 3 songs, we're already talking about hopefully the next album's better. And we could be wrong. We could go into the next one and like the next one. Who knows? And that's fair. We are kind of. Everybody else could be right. And that's fair too. But I think that we kind of are putting our minds already in this precautionary zone, because everybody else is throwing this shit out there, and we're like, all right, we're kind of taking it for what it is, and we're hoping that we're kind of wrong and all this kind of shit. But we're preparing ourselves for the worst. Essentially, the moral of the story is that we hope that we're wrong. And if we're not, we'll let you know. But it is what it is. That was Gasoline from I Prevail. Yeah. We're going to go ahead and take a quick break. Maybe dive into the album a little bit more. Yeah. See what we think. Yeah. And then we'll go from there. Right on. But thanks, guys, for joining us. We'll see you guys in about, 10, 15? Yeah. Something like that sounds whenever good. The fuck we want. Right. All right. Cool. Cheers. Cheers. That song is dog shit.